What's good, B-Sounds? It's your boy, Kick and Raid, and today we are making a double threat. We are making air fryer protein donuts that turn into air fryer protein bagels. I know you're thinking it's a bit weird that one recipe makes both donuts and bagels, like they have such different textures, they just share a shape. But if you eat these straight out of the air fryer with a sweet topping, they are donutty. They're not freaking like deep fried donuts, for God's sakes, but they are high protein and decent on the calorie front. But then if you leave them to go cold, they develop a proteiny chew, the kind of chew that you associate with a bagel. So here's what I think you should do, and here's what I do. Make 4, 2 of them, get a chocolate glaze, and you eat them as they come out of the air fryer. Delicious. 2 of them get no glaze, you let them go cold, and then later, cream cheese, Marmite, bagel. Delicious. Let's give it a go. All right, first thing you want is a cup and some self-raising flour. 1 cup of self-raising flour, in fact. 1 cup of protein powder. You want it to be vanilla, ideally, something plain. 1/4 cup of actual sugar. A teaspoon of yeast. Honestly, you could probably do without the yeast. The self-raising flour is what's going to give it its rise, but the yeast, you know, adds yeast flavor. So if you enjoy a yeasted donut, or it makes your bagel taste a bit more like an actual bit of bread and not what we're doing. 1/2 cup of sweetener, a egg. Give her a mix, don't over mix, but get it a bit incorporated, and then we're gonna wang some milk in, and you want it to come together like a dough, but you don't want it to get too wet like a cake batter. At some point you have to get your hands in there like a real man. That was 125 ml of milk, and it's a bit too wet. Cover that with cling film and then leave it somewhere warm for about an hour. Somewhere warm. This is Britain. That's upstairs having a little sleepy. We'll come back to it in about an hour. Honestly, probably nothing will happen. I've been developing this recipe for a little while. I've never really had any kind of noticeable rise. And I have a theory, but I am just a lad and not a scientist. 1, the yeast doesn't have that much sugar to eat, and then the proteins are like a tight knit web that the yeast can't expand, so it doesn't get any bigger. But what it will do is taste yeastier. Like the yeast will wake up, try and do its thing, as opposed to just, you know, being dry yeast. We'll leave that for a bit, an hour, and I'll see you then, and we'll eat some frickin' donuts. So it's been about an hour, and our dough has made an attempt to rise, but not gotten very far. So, slow cooker, gonna put it on 160, preheated. So, you know, set to 160, let it go for 3 or 4 minutes, because it gets quite hot quite fast, which I guess is the point of an air fryer. All right, moving on. Move my dinner. Come with me, little boy. My air fryer requires a bit of persuasion to work. See? Just gotta slap it just right. It's like I know it likes it. So this is possibly still a bit wet. We're rolling with it. You wanna get some baking sheet. You want a bit of baking sheet that's gonna fit in the bottom of your air fryer so that your donut slash bagel doesn't stick to the bottom. Lovely. And then you want another one of those so that you can prep one while you cook one. Now, I gotta tell you the truth, I was looking at the wrong sheet on my instructions, so I've made more than 4. This will make probably like 6, 8, a few. You might not need to do this if you didn't make your dough as wet as I did, but I made my bloody dough too wet, so I gotta dust it with a bit of flour just so that it's manhandleable. You get it into a ball. Maybe I should just dust my hands. You get it into a ball, like yonder, you poke a hole in it, and then you drop it on your sheet. The last time I did this, it was not so dang sticky, and you can get yourself a ball, poke a hole in it, and then roll that thing around your fingers until you end up with the same thing. If you can hear me over that tornado of noise. All right, and then what we want is actually gonna be... The tornado of noise is over. a small bowl, some sweetener, some low-fat hot chocolate, and some milk. Go about half and half sweetener and low-fat hot chocolate, sweetened hot chocolate. And then you want to put just a splash of milk in so that it turns into a kind of an icing type ordeal. I'm gonna ice it from the top, but last time I could literally just pick it up and dip it in. Oh, buddy. Oh, boy. Here he is on his way in. I guess you could sprinkle it if that's something you're into. And then I gave him 6 minutes last time. Set a timer for 6 minutes. Anybody recently had their Apple devices bricked by an update?
6 minutes, starting now.
So we'll glaze this boy. Oh, doobie. We're gonna sprinkle it for the thumbnail. Oh, 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 oh. Looks good in there. All right, that's 6 minutes. Oh, kind of lost its bum hole. But come on, look at that glaze. Look at that glaze. Like I said, it's dusty because of the flour that I just plunked on top. All right, round 2. Oh no. Very, very good. It's like pillowy and soft and good. It's slightly moist in the middle still because I made the dough too wet. Don't do that. God damn. That's good shit. Bruh. Bruh. That's so good. It is cakier than a donut. I will say that. But if you gave it to me and said eat this donut, I wouldn't be like, what's this, some sort of protein animal? I'd be like, yum, yum, delicious, yum. Come on, man. I know it's lost its butthole, but I guess you could call them like muffin tops, maybe? Every way of describing them seems to undersell them somehow. This one's gonna be a straight bake. Oh yeah. Come on. What we call this is semantics. What it is fluffy and delicious. So the calories on these, assuming you make 181 calories, it's a big unit, you know? It's less than any chocolate bar you'll get. So I'm pretty happy with that. 1.2 gram of fat, 24.8 gram of carbs, which makes it your pre-workout donut, and 17.4 grams of protein, which you definitely won't get in a real donut. I didn't include the topping in the calories, but this stuff is 2 calories per teaspoon. This stuff is 44 calories per 3 teaspoons, which is not divisible. 15 calories. Then there's skimmed milk, which is nothing, so negligible is what I'm saying. Negligible. Tell me you see this at a bakery and you don't want to eat it. And even my watch, man, it's loading an app that it already had on it. It was already open. And it's still like, I can't remember what I was doing. Makes me furious. They haven't had any money off me in a long while. And I guess they're just like, give me your money. Give me your freaking money. Give me your freaking money. You're not getting it, Apple. You're not getting it. Saving up to do the gym up. Don't tell anyone. It's a surprise. Hell yeah. Hot! Warm. Bagels. Bagels for me, bagels for you. Bagels for everybody. So that did in fact make 6 big old this sized bagely / donuts. If you're yeasting your dough, it doesn't matter if it's got dry spots before you put it somewhere warm. Like, it's better to not overwork it because it can get quite gummy, and just let time hydrate that whatever it is that's dry. I did these for 7 minutes in the end at 160, but they were quite wet last time I did them at 160 for 6 minutes and they came out perfectly. If you're making just straight up bagels, I'll probably leave the sweetener out because there's sweetener in the protein and you're putting actual sugar in it. So if you're not yeasting, you could replace the actual sugar that we've put in with an equivalent amount of sweetener and you'd drop the calories quite considerably. If you only want to make 2 of these, obviously make 1/3 of this recipe. Don't know what else I can say to you that's completely obvious, so I will just say, hope you're having a great day. And yeah, get them gains. Be well.